There have been many Dragon Ball Z films over the years. Most can be described as meh. Then there are those that are like, yeah. But then there are a small few that are just like, Dragon Ball Z Bio Broly is one of those films where you're just like, why? Bio Broly is the third Broly film to have been released. As soon as he was introduced,
Who's this scrawny puke?
I'm 1.5 feet taller than you, but whatever.
in the Dragon Ball Z Broly, the Legendary Super Saiyan film, back in 1993, Broly gained a fair amount of popularity among viewers, and got a follow-up film in the form of Dragon Ball Z Broly Second Coming, which is another very questionable creation, but we're not going to get into that in this video. So what makes Broly such a compelling character that he has 3 Dragon Ball Z films dedicated to him and a reimagining of the character in Dragon Ball Super? Well, it's definitely not his personality. I can tell you that much. As for his motivations, that is probably the most divisive aspect of his character. His sole purpose in life is to kill Goku because he is so outraged by the fact that when they were babies and placed in the nursery next to each other, Goku would not stop crying. And that's it. Yeah, that's a ridiculous cause for someone to harbour such a strong animosity towards someone, but it also helps to portray just how insane Broly truly is. Broly is classified as a legendary Super Saiyan, described in ancient Saiyan folklore as a being of enormous power, with a propensity for destruction and bloodshed. The fabled pride of the Saiyan race, a strength so overwhelming that it cannot be challenged, controlled, or destroyed. Broly is devoured by madness, which is the fate of the legendary Super Saiyan, as his power continues to grow.
How is he this strong? How many push-ups did he do? How many sit-ups? What kind of juice did he drink?
His excessive hatred for Goku is simply a consequence of his psychosis, and his Saiyan genes predispose him for having a lust for carnage. Broly is essentially Goku's foil. Born with an absurdly high power level, unlike Goku, he was one of the only children who survived planet Vegeta being destroyed, and while Goku turned out to be a hero thanks to his nurturing on Earth, Broly succumbed to his instincts and became a villain. Plus, who doesn't just love watching a muscle-bound dude just wrecking shit?
Genetically superior male.
Since we've established what makes Broly interesting,
I'm 1.5 feet taller than you.
we can dive right into the film and see how it just disregards pretty much every good aspect of it. The film opens with 3 Bio Warriors coming out of their tanks, with one of them being much larger than the other 2. Okay, no, he's not Broly, it's just he's a lot larger than all the other ones for some reason. Dr. Coley, a scientist, made them at Mr. Jaguar's request, who is going to use these creatures to blow the whistle on the biggest fraud in the world. 3 guesses as to who.
I am the world champion! Bow before the mighty Satan!
It then plays the Boo Saga opening, which I really do not remember the films doing. Did all of the Dragon Ball Z films have TV openings? Gosh, it's been so long I don't remember. Anyway, the events of the film occur immediately following the 25th World Martial Arts Tournament. Android 18 and Mr. Satan formed a deal during the last round of the tournament. If she let him win, he would give her 20 million zenny, double that of the prize money of the tournament. Well, 18 has arrived at Mr. Satan's estate to get her payment, while Krillin and her daughter Marin wait outside. Trunks and Goten are there too because they were promised a big lunch by Krillin. Also, the plot needs them to be there. A businessman arrives and threatens Mr. Satan with exposing to the entire world that Mr. Satan is a bedwetter, and forces him to battle Mr. Jaguar's Bio Warriors. Android 18 reluctantly comes along as she knows that Mr. Satan will try to skip out on their deal the first chance he gets. Trunks and Goten hitch a ride in the boot of the car because the plot needs them. And that is the setup for the film. I do like that the film focuses on more minor characters, especially Android 18, as she is one of my favourite supporting characters, who didn't get much to do after the conclusion of the Cell Saga. Also, Krillin gets to play a bit of a role in this one too, who also got thrown to the wayside a bit in the later seasons. And that's about it for the stuff that I like about the film, as it goes very much downhill from here. Mr. Satan and his companions arrive at Jaguar Island,
Sweet Lord in heaven.
where all of the Bio Warriors work out naked.
Yeah, but what sort of film? I'm beginning to ask myself, what sort of film?
Jaguar, the really short one, prepares a tournament to match his Bio Warriors against Mr. Satan, but Android 18 intervenes and orders them to all come at her at once, just as Goten and Trunks arrive eager for a fight. The three swiftly annihilate the Bio Warriors, forcing Jaguar to unleash his ultimate warrior, Bio Broly. But how exactly did this Jaguar guy get his hands on Broly in the first place? If you had seen the previous Broly film, Broly Second Coming, you'd know that Gohan, Goten and Goku used the family Kamehameha wave to defeat Broly. The shaman from the previous film reappears, and he was the one who took a sample of Broly's blood to Jaguar, where scientists were able to create a Broly clone. So technically this isn't the real Broly, but that doesn't make the film's concept any less stupid. In fact, the premise for the last Broly film was just as dumb, but we're not going to get into that. It really feels like the creators came up with the character Broly and he became really popular, but they didn't really know what to do with him. I mean, his character ran its course in the first Broly film. He just doesn't really work without his foil Goku. Trunks and Goten get a glimpse of this clone floating within a capsule. The two young Saiyans attempt to destroy the clone with the Kamehameha before he is released. I didn't think that Trunks would know the Kamehameha, but honestly this is the least of the film's problems. Unfortunately they are too late and Broly is awakened by the scientists. The legendary Super Saiyan emerges from his capsule.
Nice.
But is promptly submerged by sludge and turns to poo. One of the most appealing aspects to Broly is his design. So what do? Cover it up with shit. They quite literally shit on Broly's character. He has three massive red bug eyes for some reason, and his hair sticking out of the sludge looks like a bunch of bananas. The giant red spot of exposed organs on his chest you'd think would be some sort of weak spot so our characters can defeat him, but no, this ain't no video game. It's just there just cause. Kinda like why this film was made. Just cause. I mean, it's not like they thought it would be good. Right. The two boys, along with 18, try their best to fight off the pile of poo, but they are just no match for him. The fight choreography is pretty decent, but most of the fight just consists of the kids getting the shit kicked out of them, not giving much room for a good back and forth between the heroes and villain. Also, it's just really hard to make this look good. As the fight goes on, some strange purple sludge is unleashed from the surrounding tanks. It starts engulfing everyone and everything that it touches, leading to the Z fighters to get distracted during the fight as they attempt to save the scientists still in the area. 18 is almost killed, but thankfully her husband Krillin is there to save her. Trunks and Goten have been beaten down and are running out of energy. Since they stand no chance to defeat Broly in a fight, can you guess how they will defeat him? That's right, the legendary Super Saiyan is taken out by Deus Ex Machina sludge. Thrilling. It's not even really explained what the sludge is exactly. It's called culture fluid and it destroys anything that is not of the same makeup as itself, even to the point that it starts destroying the entire island. But then it makes you think, how was it held in those containers if it destroys everything it touches?
Stop talking about it.
Trunks thinks Bio Broly is dead, but then he rises up from the culture fluid, larger and stronger than ever. But it's like, not really, he's dead. The culture fluid is out of control, so the Z fighters help to escort the citizens off of the island.
If you fall, you will die.
But how are they going to stop the spread of this destructive sludge? Well, the solution is pretty awesome. And by pretty awesome, I mean fucking stupid. The sludge is stopped by water. It's like science all over again. So in order to fix the problem of Broly being way too powerful for our heroes, they introduce the culture fluid that fixes the Broly problem, but then adds another problem of stopping the culture fluid, which they then decide to fix that problem with water. Well, more specifically, seawater. Shit. Goten, Trunks and Krillin all launch a Kamehameha blast into the ocean to create a giant tidal wave that covers the entire island, hardening and stopping the spread of the culture fluid. Given the force and the amount of water, you'd think that the tidal wave would surely destroy the island. But we'll just let that slide, considering everything else we've had to put up with. And with that, the day is saved. But then, suddenly, Bio Broly rises up from the ocean, larger and stronger than ever. But psych, he is dead. Shit. The premise of this film is just terribly thought out. The Trunks and Goten antics are just annoying. Android 18 and Mr. Satan are the only redeeming aspects of this film. They play off one another well, and Mr. Satan always provides some entertaining slapstick. Now let me pose a question. Why does the antagonist need to be Broly? Bio Broly doesn't act or resemble his earlier incarnations, apart from he is really strong, and this immense strength is the cause of all of these other issues in the story. I believe Broly was chosen solely for his widespread appeal among fans, but the film ignores the qualities that make him such a memorable character in the first place. The decision to bring Broly back for a third time was always risky, and doing it in a way that stripped him of his identity was perhaps the worst conceivable way to do it. Broly had already come back once. He didn't need to come back a third time, looking like the bloody swamp man.
Yeah, this thing's a piece of shit. Let's go do something else.
Yeah, come on, Hobag, give me chicken pot pie.
Hey, you squeezy little mouse, go get it your sorry ass
Don't
self.
talk to me like that, bitch.
Get out of my way, you piece of shit.